Let me tell you, this isn't just ordinary tea. This is a whole new level of drama after Mama Jones came clean about Chrissy Lampkin. After a whirlwind of turmoil, dishonesty, and an unexpected health disaster, Chrissy Lampkin is battling leukemia. Jim Jones is completely wrecked. But hold on, as you are well known, Mama Jones has been secretly smitten with Chrissy for years. Now, however, she is sharing details that have the whole industry in shock. What has she learned, Shook? Is Chrissy really fighting for her life? Or is this just an over-the-top paranormal reality TV gimmick? As others allege that Chrissy has been hiding this for months, social media is going into full meltdown mode. However, why is Jen really you're not ready for what we're about to disclose in this in-depth investigation? So be sure to grab some popcorn, hit the like button, and let's get started. This isn't a drill, folks. Here's the real explanation behind this bizarre disaster. Guess who brought the tea? Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin just got some of the most shocking news in their entire relationship. Mama Jones herself. As you are all aware, when she speaks, it's either going to be messy, contentious, or just plain chaotic. This time, it's all three. So let's take a moment to reflect because this story is more complicated than you may think. Chrissy and Jim's relationship has been difficult from the beginning, as we have all seen it unfold on Love and Hip Hop. 10 years of engagement with Anna's wedding, Mama Jones's drama over Chrissy's lack of approval, and of course, the infamous "you will never be my daughter-in-law" moment that made everyone shudder. However, things have since changed because there are rumors that Chrissy has been battling leukemia and hasn't revealed it. Before we get into all of that, let's talk about how this information was ever made public because, trust me, it was more messy than a reality TV reunion fight. No one likes to bring up the fact that you withhold anything like this from the guy you claim to love, not even her friends, admirers, and worst of all, Jim, Mama Jones, who has been supporting Chrissy for years and accused her of a number of crimes, including gold mining, is serious about her son, as you are all know. Dishonest, even trying to put space between herself and Jim. So when she started to observe Chrissy acting oddly, you knew she had to stop going out. According to an informant, Mama Jones eventually noticed some peculiar changes in Chrissy's behavior and she stopped going out as much. Despite her love of parties, Chrissy hasn't been seen on red carpets or at events in a few months. We won't tell yet, but she also started wearing wigs more often. According to speculations, Chrissy was hiding something by rapidly and unhealthily reducing a significant amount of weight, even as she doesn't like a good lace front. "Are you okay, Chrissy girl?" was one of the remarks left by fans on her most recent images. Then, like any inquisitive mother-in-law, Mama Jones went through the Jim's possessions and found tests, medical records, doctor's notes, and guess what? Chrissy had leukemia, according to the story. Let's now pause to think about why Mama Jones was the first to notice this. The cover-up was even worse than Jim keeping it a secret, so we're going to go into that. More significantly, however, why was Chrissy hiding it? Since it turns out that Chrissy was ignorant of her sickness, the diagnosis alone will have you all wondering about everything. She allegedly started posting pictures on Instagram with a grin instead of coming honest, acting as if nothing was wrong. She even reportedly told Jim that she had a little cold, but a cold doesn't cause hair loss or need you to seek secret treatments behind your fiancé's back, sis. Have you been told by your doctors that you are running out of time? If so, what was she hiding? She would not want to search for 3 reasons. Chrissy probably didn't want to be seen as stick because of the way reality TV stars act and give off an appearance of invincibility. In addition to the fact that Jim and Chrissy's relationship has been shaky for years, she doesn't want Jim to leave her. As you already know, she would have been saying things like, "See, I told you she ain't fit for my son," because she was worried that Jim might start to drift away or worse, cheat, and she didn't want to deal with Mama Jones's tongue. But here is when things really go wrong because, according to an insider, Jim lost it instead of sticking with Chrissy. "I had never seen Jim Jones so upset when I finally found out that he had gone into panic mode. The man who was always rapping and showing off his according to sources, Jim just sat at his SAR for hours on end, crying, not knowing what to do, who to contact, or how to manage power and money. Even realized that his life may not be long, but it gets worse since Chrissy ignored Jim when he tried to talk to her. Yes, she refused to talk about it, refused to answer his questions, refused to let him go to her doctor's appointments, and even slept off. Take a little break in another room. For what reason would Chrissy shove Jim away now? For years, he has been there for her through all of the highs and lows, downs, and she now wants to project a whole new image. Chrissy reportedly feared Jim would leave her, while other accounts claimed she was in denial and would not accept truth. But the most shocking claim is that Chrissy didn't want Jim to understand her illness. Yes, you read properly. According to sources, there is a possibility that Chrissy's leukemia is not natural, and here is where a full-blown dispute starts. The most outlandish conspiracy theories about Chrissy's illness will be the subject of our next discussion. Might it have anything to do with some dark secrets from her past? More importantly, what will Jim do once someone attempts to set her up? Part 2 is nearly coming, so don't miss it. Be ready for this story to take a bizarre turn that even the most fabricated reality TV program could not have predicted. It's going to become a lot wilder. You may have thought Chrissy Lynn's leukemia diagnosis was the biggest shock, but listeners tell us there's much more to discover, so we're just getting started. Others are already suggesting that Chrissy's health problems may not be as common as they seem, and this story goes beyond just a hidden illness. I did say that, yes. Some of the people here are blatantly suggesting that someone could have set her up, but let's talk about who and why so Jim Jones is surprised when he finds out. Chrissy's state has angered Mama Jones, who is already out here. In his car, he has been crying as he considers his options. According to an unidentified source, she is carrying out investigative work, similar to what she did in a CSI Harlem episode, and what she finds are a couple of infants. Anonymous indicates that there is a person involved, and it is believed that Chrissy is not just unwell, but was made ill before you all found out. Let's explore the facts while you hold onto your pearls. To begin with, Chrissy has been concealing the whole situation. Second, there was Mama Jones. To find those medical documents at the right time. Third fact, according on certain stories, Chrissy's condition worsened right after a particular individual returned to the scene. And who would that be? Oh, just one word on the street will catch you off guard. Is that one of Jim's past lovers? Indeed, a former partner may have pertaining to Chrissy's unforeseen medical issue. In relation to it, let's briefly revisit Jim Jones's playing career. Yes, there was a woman who had everyone talking and who couldn't stop talking about Jim before she married Chrissy. You guys, who is she? The same Tahari Goze from Love and Hip Hop, who has been linked to more musicians than a BET Awards winner, is the one. To be honest, I truly think that Tahiri's intermittent return after the party corresponded with Chrissy's declining health. This is the same Tahiri who evidently had unresolved business with Jim, even while he was with Chrissy. Let's place that. After connecting the dots, we discovered that Chrissy's health quickly deteriorated and that Tahiri and Jim had been seen at the same event a few months before. There have been whispers about a strange illness that no one wanted to talk about. And here is where things get very crazy because, as you may remember, Tahiri has been accused of doing questionable things behind the scenes before. Anything to Chrissy, but I'm suggesting that it's a little too lucky that an old enemy has suddenly reappeared after fighting for her life. In the picture, and let's not forget about the cash, can you guess what else was revealed? We must now ask the crucial question, who is Jim paying off and why? Jim's money has been missing for a considerable amount of the last few months. As you are all aware, Mama Jones doesn't tamper with her son's bank account, so when she looked into it further, she found that it was being used for some covered medical procedures for Chrissy. Did he need to be secretive? Why all the secret deals and suspicious activities if Chrissy's leukemia was a legitimate illness? Let me clarify. Jim's money could have been hush money, according to sources, which indicates that someone knows something they shouldn't. and Jim is now paying to silence them. Let's give this some serious thought. Did Jim try to conceal anything from Chrissy? Did Tahiri or someone else work in the background? Or did Chrissy engage in some dangerous behavior that went awry? Because, let me tell you, this is the next part. You'll be shocked to learn that there have been rumors that Chrissy dated some shady men before she became sick, talking about backdoor transactions, money laundering, and maybe even some criminal conduct. As everyone is aware, Chrissy is discussing her business, which she has been writing for Jim for years. However, insiders claim that she may have been involved in some side activities that could have put her life and health in danger, and that some people believe her illness isn't just a random one, but rather a form of retaliation. Chrissy had no idea that she had been drawn into something far more serious. Additionally, when she tried to leave, someone stopped her. This is when things go wrong, because who is to blame if Chrissy wasn't simply sick but was made sick? Is it someone she had business relations with, a former partner of Jim's, or something more complex like a well-thought-out conspiracy? The worst part is that Jim understands what's happening. Your sources say Jim has been quite concerned since he knows Chrissy's condition isn't normal. Since he is covertly supporting doctors and hospitals and hiding medical records instead of attending moving forward. Why else would he be doing this? And why would Mama Jones have to find out about all of this on her own? The real question is whether Chrissy is safe at all, or whether Jim is plotting behind the scenes to get revenge. And more importantly, who will be revealed next, because, trust me, this drama isn't over yet. If this is more than just a medical problem, Jim might be trying to protect her from something even worse. In the third section, we will break looking at the possible consequences of this whole situation, whether Jim Jones will come clean in the end, whether a secret investigation is underway behind the scenes, and whether we are witnessing the biggest scandal in hip-hop and romantic history. You guys had better pay attention, because things are going to get much stranger. If you thought part 2 was strange, get ready, because here is when everything falls apart. We're talking about secrets being exposed and hidden intentions, intriguing information, and a startling ending. So let's pick up where we left off. We now know that Jim Jones has been behaving in a really strange manner. We also know that hush money is involved, and that Chrissy could have been set up by someone, whether it was an old rival or a bungled business deal. The actual problem is what will happen next, because, sweetie, this isn't just some love drama and hip-hop anymore. Maybe even someone from Jim's own social circle, starting to resemble a full-scale criminal conspiracy. And guess who just joined in? As previously mentioned, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and other authorities have reportedly been looking into Jim's finances for months. This is where things begin to make sense. After millions of dollars suddenly disappeared from Jim's accounts, it comes out that the government has been watching him and waiting for the ideal moment to intervene. Can you guess what became of Chrissy? The most ridiculous part of Chrissy's illness is that she might now also be a target. The authorities are looking into whether Jim has been using illegal money transfers to hide something far more serious than just her medical bills, the questionable hospital transactions, and the private doctors no one wants to name. Jim has been trying to keep everything under control, so now is when things go ugly. You all want to learn more about Chrissy's activities, and there are suspicions that she knows more than she is disclosing. Worse, it's been suggested that Chrissy would be willing to talk to the police. Let's talk about this now, before you all start throwing tomatoes. After being caught up in something dangerous, Chrissy could have recognized she couldn't manage this alone, and if the government had enough information on her, Chrissy could be thinking of saving herself before Jim defeats him, because, let's be honest, would you go down for a man who might have hurt you? Jim had been warned by Mama Jones that she would be too dramatic and theatrical, but here is the shocking revelation that will blow your mind. After years of telling Jim that Chrissy was bad for him, Mama Jones is now more certain than ever that Chrissy would stab Jim. She's not a fool. In the back to defend herself, since why would Chrissy hide this whole leukemia problem if she really loved Jim? Why is she talking to people behind Jim's back now? The fact that she allowed Jim to spend millions of dollars on some enigmatic treatment under false pretenses appears quite suspicious. Jim's ancient shady brother Cameron also went live the other night. He did speak out, but he did not name anybody. Make some quite offensive comments about how some people are playing with fire and running the danger of being burned. And if you give it a careful look, it seems that Cameron is aware of this. Because let's face it, if Chrissy betrays Jim and gives the authorities information, Jim has no chance because she is really out here protecting herself at his expense. He is trying to warn Jim about what is going to happen before it's too late. But it might be too late because it was only a few days ago. A close associate of Jim Jones was reportedly arrested and subjected to questioning. This often means that the federal government is closely monitoring the situation. Let's analyze it now. Here's where it gets crazy. Some people think that Jim could have avoided this whole situation if he had listened to his mother from the start, because let's face it, Mama Jones had been warning Jim that Chrissy would be the last of him. However, it appears that she was right all along. If Chrissy is truly going to flip, Jim will have to choose between taking responsibility for whatever dirty business he has been engaging in or putting Chrissy last because, darling, in situations like this, it's either you or them, and he's not going down without a fight. And this might be the permanent end of Jim and Chrissy's romance if the federal authorities have sufficient evidence to file charges. Last but not least, the next episode will be even more odd, so you can be sure that this story isn't over yet. Will Jim be able to redeem his reputation? Will Chrissy really turn against him? And most importantly, how long until the federal government comes in because of you all? Everyone, there you have it. With Mama Jones pouring tea, Chrissy Lynn's health problem, and Jim Jones stranded in the middle of total chaos, the scene is straight out of a movie. The question remains, is there more to this narrative? Is this a medical disaster? Or is this a familial breakdown? You're telling us that even though social media is taking off, you already know if you would want to hear from me. Please leave a comment below. Is Chrissy's condition real, in your opinion, or is this just another crazy situation between her and Mama Jones? And how do you think Jim Jones is handling everything? You also don't want to miss the strain that will continue to build as this story progresses and I become increasingly more fortunate. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons since there will be changes soon. Set off the alarm because you want to be the first to know that I will be there when the next surprising discovery occurs. Looking at the comments, so let's discuss it.